Okay. Oh, good day, family. Good day. I was just coming on for a brief moment because I'm tired and sleepy and hungry too. I want the rest of them fruit, but I had a wonderful day today. I hope everyone else did too. Let me get me some cold water. I'm trying to drink a little more cold water. Oh, I already got it. Yeah, I was going to read tonight, but I think I am too sleepy. We'll see. We will see. Let me give me some water, though. I could use. Yeah. Good day, family. It's good to see you. I thought about it. I'm tired of sleeping and I'm kind of hungry too. But I try not to eat so late at night and stuff. And I do got some fruits over here from when the grandbabies was over. That was so wonderful. If you got grandbabies, keep them around. Keep them around because that's where we get all our energy and we got to be ready to go. You know, when them babies is around and stuff, because they keep you active, keep us on our feet. But it's so good to see you. How you doing, Kelvin? It's so good to see you again. Yeah, I'm just coming on sleepy and stuff. I think we're going to read just a little bit tonight. Yeah, we're going to read just a little bit tonight so we can go ahead and finish this book right here, this lesson. And I really need to start annotating these some parts of these books and stuff. I mean, I did start a little bit right there, but I need to make it more refined for me. That way, when I go back and I look at it, you know, I was thinking about Richard Coleman. Remember Preston Coleman, the brother who was recently, he was attacked in that VFW. You know, the veterans place. And then white men jumped on him. I think, was it in Philadelphia? I think, and everybody in the VFW sat there and watched it happen. One guy even got up and joined in with him. The man beat him so long, so bad, he had to take a break. And then he went back to assaulting Preston. But his name was Preston Coleman. And Richard Coleman in this book right here, he was the one, y'all remember where they put, the man was putting cayenne pepper in his eyes. And, you know, I was just thinking the same last name. I was just wondering and stuff. It is a really small world. But yeah, let's just do our part, learn, process, heal from it, and be our great selves. Be our great selves. Everything that our ancestors survived. Yeah. It is testimony to us that we can survive anything. It ain't nothing these folks can do to us at this point. No. We would have been no succumb to it. We on the brink of insanity. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you know, it's and that's because it's too much that's unresolved. That's because it's too much that's unresolved on us. That's the reason why we're at the brink of insanity. It's not because, we can't deal with it. We're not the ones we thought we were. It's not because of that. It's because we ain't got no healing, no recourse, no comfort, no justice on either front. So, that right there, yeah, and that's out of our control. When something just traumatic keeps happening to a people over and over for this long, and it's still ongoing, it's still going on. Of course, we like to think it ain't, but yeah, it's still going on, and we still here. We surviving for a reason. But this unprecedented assault that's coming, we got to be able to survive that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm Face the Nation. We on Bolden Unchained. We're here to assist Black America and Black media. With everything. Yeah. Everything that we need. What I can't do, you can. What you can't do, I can. What we can't do, sister or brother can. But it's us. We the ones that's here to save us. We ain't looking for nobody else. We should have never been looking for no one else to save our people. Me and you gonna do that. Black America, we gonna do that. We looking through a spiritual lens. We ain't even looking through a religious lens. Not here, because I'm not religious. If we was to be somewhere else and on someone else's platform and, or what have you, visiting and stuff like that, I probably wouldn't speak unless necessary. Because if it's religious of that forgiving, I'm not religious. I just there until that part passes over. And then we can get to the nitty gritty and stuff. Because the religious and stuff, that's going to take up a whole lot of time right there. Because that's our biggest crutch is religious. So no, ain't no religion in here. And if you are religious and stuff, because I know we figure that we are religious people. And we believe it wholeheartedly. Then, don't come in here with it thinking it's going to be no forgiveness given nowhere. Because it ain't. The only forgiveness you allowed to give in here and spread in here is to Black people, to my ancestors, to my people today, to the collective Black America, that we forgive us. We know we tried everything we could to avoid slavery, to get out of slavery, to stop the oppression. White folks just dug in deeper on us. So we got to forgive us for that. We can't keep holding us responsible for that. If we only learn the truth, then we'll see how much Black people fought against, the enslavement. If we only did the knowledge, then we'll see. We'll know how resilient we are and how loyal we are to each other. The Black man and the Black woman. The Black man and the Black man. The Black woman and the Black woman. We loyal to us. That's what these people have taken from you. Because we can't see that. We can't see that. And it really ain't even been that long since we began to turn against each other when you consider the whole sabotage of our identity, our life, our legacy. 400 years. What did receipt say? I had to write it down because I didn't know how long it was. 246 years of slavery. 246 years of slavery. I got 1619 to 1865. And then 155 years of Jim Crow. This right here would be your Jim Crow. In my opinion, one of them the Klansmen and all of that stuff, that barbaric, cannibalistic stuff, the Klans. And yeah, I mean, that's like what, 401 years? And now, we've been free for 159 years, 150 some years, y'all. And look how these motherfuckers done turned around and said we a threat. We a threat to them. White folks said we are a threat to them. And we done dealt with segregation, lynching, murdering, burning, terrorizing, convict leasing, peonage, economic exclusion, predatory leasing, medical experimentation, planting drugs and guns in our communities. We know where we're coming from. Lack of quality education, redlining, school to prison pipeline, criminalization of ADOS, black men. That's what it got on this right here. And I wrote this from somewhere because I didn't know all of this. Where I'm from and stuff, this ain't our day-to-day education. This ain't our day-to-day living, communication. It ain't a part of our lives. At the most, where I'm from, you would probably hear or know about the housing and, joblessness, but the other stuff, nah. Terrorizing, convict leasing, peonage, murder and burning, lynching. We know that, but we won't dare touch that with a 10-foot pole. Criminalization of mass incarceration, food deserts, health insecurities, water insecurities, joblessness, and other accrued disadvantages from being generationally excluded from wealth building. It ain't a part of our life, our education. It's just not. Our communication, where I'm from, it's not. And I'm beginning to see it's like that all over the country pretty much. It's just a select few. And we in select places. I can't even say how many of us are actually together in the same area, the same zip code, where we can actually, get together and talk and start building things. Those of us of like minds, I'm saying. I'm not saying, oh, Face, all you got to do is go down there and go to the meeting and stuff. I'm going to do that. But I'm talking about for us. See, because when I go down there to the meetings and stuff, I'm pretty much going to be sitting by myself. Unless there's some like minds with me. But everybody that's out there and stuff, I pretty much know them. They ain't like me. They don't think like me for black people. No. They sure don't. Seems to be this whole big front of everybody assisting Black America. By now, we should at least have some of our own patrolling and protecting and providing going on in our communities. We've had plenty of times, opportunities, for other like-minded folks, what have you, who are in position and who were supposed to help us do the most meaningful, but they're so simple that they're supposed to be done because these particular people know, say like the Black Panther Party, what they intended for us to be doing. Sometimes I don't even like to even think about it and stuff because I know it's the very same people that know you took these things here that were supposed to be utilized for the Black people, by the Black people, and hid it away. Wrapped it up. Like that one man, William Joseph said, they rested it up and showed it to us and even act like it was being used for us. And we up a shit creek with no paddle or boat, nothing. We just in the damn shit. We ain't got on nothing. We just in the shit. And my ancestors said something got to give. Something got to give. But, we ain't had no healing and stuff. So we looking at this through a spiritual lens. Who we loyal to. We need to know about our resilience. Who else done survived this? There's a lot of people here in America now. There's a whole lot of people here. Done been through some terrible things also. I know other people done had their Holocaust. I don't know much about it. Matter of fact, when I was a little girl, I liked that one movie, Sorbidor. It's about the German Holocaust. Yeah, Hitler genocide and all them people and stuff. And I used to like to watch that when it came on TV, I guess because it was a part of history. It wasn't ours, but it was a part of history. But those folks got justice, reparations. They got healing. And they make sure it never will happen again. But us, And our Holocaust, we can't say that. Our Holocaust has really never stopped. It just eased up some, slowed down. It just pulled back some. But that was just because they had enough guts and nerves and ammunition to dispense some of them attacks and agendas towards white America. See, because white America didn't never stand up for nothing. They thought that the government was going to always protect them. White women thought they were going to always be protected and provided for and stuff. Little did they know, they ass wasn't nothing but pawns in this whole scheme. Now, we don't want to have nothing to do with it. Their asses up shit creek too. It just flared, the arms just going everywhere, shit going everywhere. I'm losing my job. I can't make it on $166,000 a year. What am I going to do? Just losing their damn mind because they never stood for what was right. And here it is, allegedly 2025, and that's why the world is on fire. Black people ain't finna put the fire out. We finna save us. Yeah, we finna save us. Hell, at least when the fire it done died down and done smothered out and stuff, the soil will be ready. Because you know how they burn the field before they get ready to plant the new crop and stuff? I'm just saying, make sure us, black people, make sure we get through this. That's all I want us to do. Make sure we get through this because we the ones supposed to live on. It wasn't never supposed to be this huge attack, this lifelong attack. I ain't never known a grudge this long. But it wasn't never supposed to happen. White folks are supposed to choose another option, another decision. They were supposed to learn from their mistakes. And they ain't did it. They have not did it. So now our ancestors said, hey, it's time for us to show up. Yeah. They realized that we are too traumatized to do it. We too traumatized. The parents of all people are so traumatized. We don't know if we coming, going, spinning, just spinning. We don't know. We don't know. We in a bad way right now. So yeah, let's read a little bit. And then, we ain't going to be here all night because I'm tired. I'm sleepy. I was up to 6 o'clock last night. Excuse me. After our reading, I was up to 6 o'clock last night, but I watched Brother David. What's his name? Brother David Black. What do we owe our ancestors? Y'all got to go watch it. It's on YouTube, honey. It's an hour and some long, but it's very worth it. We're going to get the book too. But he was very profound. It was someone else I watched last night. And I just had to take a little time and stuff to process and stuff. Sometimes it takes longer than others. Yeah, sometimes it takes longer than others. But we process it and we keep going and stuff because in this is healing. In knowledge is healing. When you know better, you do better. When we know all these things right here, we'll know what to not risk. Our life, our babies' lives, our little children and stuff, they don't even know. Yeah, we'll know what to warn them about. And it won't just be black men. It won't. We got an open enemy, y'all. We do. So tonight we are reading 100 Years of Lynching, which we've been reading the last 3 weeks? Seems like a month now we've been reading this book, but we getting through it. Yep, what is that right there? Frank was of the Church of God movement in 1901. Chicago Herald reported. And he was lynched in Shreveport, Louisiana. Yeah. He was the head of the Church of God movement. Yeah, honey, we really got to rethink this thing. Oh, shit, I didn't even do the copyright. Y'all got to rethink this whole heaven thing. If nothing else, I need y'all to start, reconsidering, critique. Start thinking about it. I don't know. You might have to put your Bible under your arm and stuff. What you reading that for? Unless you reading what I'm telling you. You need to be reading between the lines. If you ain't reading between the lines, you don't need to be reading the white man Bible. You need to be reading the black man's Bible. Now that's where if your resistance coming from there and stuff, then you're gonna have to deal with that. Because you're not gonna find the answers reading the same old scriptures, going around that same old rut in that Bible. It's not gonna work like that. Who was I listening to, brother? I forgot his name. I don't even know if I got a journal on him. But he said Bible, the word Bible, B-I, by. That's because it's got two meanings, y'all. It's the good and the bad. It's the book of, what he say? Angels or something like that. And then it's also the book of demonic something. I might have jotted some notes down or something like that. But y'all gonna have to really critique y'all Bibles. And I know black people, we got a communion with our higher power, whoever that may be. But you're going to have to start asking them, your higher power, are you supposed to spend your forevermore with white folks in heaven? Ask them. Ask your higher power. Shit, hell, ain't nobody going to know but you. Yeah, I'm telling everybody that see this video, but can't nobody look at you and be like, oh, you asked your higher power. You supposed to go to heaven, did you? You motherfucker. You believe that girl, don't you? You believe sister, don't you? That ain't none of their business. They don't know. Hell, they didn't tell you who they voted for, did they? I'm just saying. You know, they didn't tell you. I mean, certain things you ain't got to tell folks and stuff. But talk to your higher power. Yeah, I mean, if you letting them know, yeah, I'm asking my higher power where I'm supposed to spend my, then fine. But you ain't got to if you want to. You going by yourself. Hell, when you go anyway, you're going by yourself. But the copyright disclaimer under 107 of the Copyright Act 1976 allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair uses or use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. I don't know. Don't seem like I'm ever gonna memorize that right there, but we got it out the way and stuff. And you know, we looking through a spiritual lens. We ain't looking through no religious lens because I do not forgive nothing that's done happened to my ancestors. So at any point, you know, I appreciate you being here. I truly do. But you can leave and come and go as you want to. Ain't nobody required to stay. You know, I appreciate you coming through, saying hi or bye, or just listening and not saying nothing. I appreciate it. The ancestors appreciate it. This is just to help me get going. They just let me know, don't be so hard on yourself, face. Hell, all you need is two people. And I think for the first 4 months, I thought they were talking about me and you. But I think they were talking about two other people. That's who I'm reading to, two other people. So, you know, yeah, I don't want to put those limitations on us and stuff because I'm long-winded when it comes to talking about my ancestors and my people, black people. I don't know, I might get on to somebody else and stuff, but mainly I'm here about black people. And, you know, I ain't got no healing or no advice or nothing for white folks that I think will help them except just go talk and try to heal yourself. They need to know these things. I'm here for black people. That's it and that's all. I ain't got no more time, energy, toleration for nobody else and stuff. All I can do is live and let live. Let you be. And just stay the hell away from me. That's it. That's all I can do for other people and stuff. I know how to be civil with folks. You know, I've been civil my whole life. You know, I know how to act around people and stuff when I'm out here. That don't mean I gotta just be all up under them and, you know, or treat them all shitty and bitter and stuff like that. No, you know, I'm not like that and stuff. I'm not. But I know what I'm learning and what it's telling me. I ain't supposed to be all buddy up cheesing and so pleasing with everybody and stuff. I'm supposed to be focused on my people. So, you know, you work and you go out and you pass people in society and you chat and or whatever you doing, you know, and you keep it moving. You don't get to taking folks home and buddying and stuff like that. No, we should have stopped that a long time ago when we knew how it hurt our ancestors, bringing in white folks to our homes and stuff. The elders, I mean. The aunties and stuff were like, oh shit, yeah, she got a little white boyfriend, But the grandmama and the great grandmama, the look in their eyes, the way that their demeanor changed, it should have alerted us that this is something we shouldn't be doing. But no, we had to be with white folks. Black folks just had to be with white folks. Now you can't even see your life without them. I'm just saying, that's how I see you. Sit up here and memorize the whole damn Bible. Yep, that's what y'all did. Shit. Prove it then. You didn't do it. You didn't memorize the Bible. You ready to spit out some scriptures written at me. But yeah, I'm just saying, you must have memorized the Bible because you sure ain't thought about nothing yourself. And then want to tell me, everybody want to talk about the last book, Revelations, is what's happening today. Hell, the last movie is about what's happening today. Shit, the first movie was too. All the movies is telling you what's happening today. But that's the only book y'all got, Black America. You wrong. Your ass motherfucking wrong. You wrong. You let white folks do that to you. Gave you they Bible that they put some stuff in about you. Yeah, they might have did that. Cause we quick to say, oh, Jesus is black. Jesus black. We know Jesus is black, but you ain't said nothing about the other scriptures. A bastard can't go to heaven. Don't have your kids with them and stuff. You're not supposed to mingle and marry with them. You're supposed to come out of Babylon. You didn't pay no attention to none of them things. You didn't teach our people. You didn't teach our people and stuff. Black America, we didn't. I failed us. You failed us. Everybody, we all failed us. Some kind of way. Since everybody want to be on the internet and be transparent and stuff about it, can we tell the truth about black people? What's happened to black people? Hey, we still ain't even answered our questions that was answered to us in the late 60s. When Malcolm asked that in 1968, 69, I don't know. They didn't teach me them things in school. I've been learning from y'all. Yeah, I've been learning, honey. Sure have. But Malcolm been no ask us who taught y'all to hate y'allself. Man, y'all ass should have been screaming it from the rooftop. Should have made sure everybody got them lessons. Especially our people from down south where I'm from and stuff. Everybody just act like, oh shit, hell, they'll never get it. Yeah, just don't even send it down there. That's why shit was so late. Songs, clothes, shit like that. Well, it was so late. Movies and stuff. And how the hell ain't it just the same airwaves? I don't know. Maybe it's the time zone. I'm just saying we got to really look at us now. We got to look at black people. Now let me cover this up right here because I don't like to be distracted with that and stuff. Once I get going, that's it. I just go ahead and do what I got to do. And I just thank y'all being here and stuff. And I hope y'all being safe out there. Just be safe out there and watch yourself. Don't even be on your phone all the time and shit, because we can't afford to. Now you got to watch you and brothers and sisters that you see out. Yeah, brothers and sisters that you see out and about. Yeah, keep your eyes on the prize, family. Everybody else is. Yeah, everybody else is. But whatever you do, don't go out in the street trying to protest and save this and save that and stuff, honey. If anything, your ass need to be trying to put together at home, building up for us of like minds. I really don't think at this point right here we're going to be having allies like we've always had 20, 30, 40 years. 20, 40, 30 years, 35 years, just made a whole career. As long as black folks got to fight, hey, we got a career. Hell, that's what it is, ain't it? All over this country. As long as black folks got to fight, hey, let's learn how to organize. Hey, I can teach you this, and this, honey. When black folks ready to go, you help them get there. Yeah, I'm going to set you up with this. But it ain't sincere. It didn't help us. Ain't nothing helped us. I'm at the point, goddamn it, give everything back. Give everything back. Hand everything back over. But I digress. Let's just read. So we read 100 Years of Lynching by Ralph Ginsberg. And I must say that these are newspaper clippings. These are how the newspapers printed the articles and stuff. They very old and stuff. They very rude and disrespectful, to black men, the victims. But it wasn't his views and stuff. It's the newspaper clippings and stuff. Now in that other book, I do believe those was his views and stuff. So me and him didn't really set well that author. We read a couple of books. This is I think this is number 6, maybe number 5. It was Red Summer, the summer of 1919, and the Awakening of Black America. Racial Violence in Kentucky, 1865 to 1940. Then it was Racial Violence in the United States. Then it was Lynchings in Duluth, Minnesota. Then it was They Were Her Property. And now it's 100 Years of Lynching. Yeah, we're just trying to find out what's wrong with black people. I need to know what's wrong with my people, why we can't come together. I'm hearing a couple of people was asking and stuff, still asking, what's wrong with us? And one of them I know and listened to him. I got his book. I think it was him. And I started thinking about it, and I want to know too, why come we can't come together and stuff, except for like at funerals? We don't come together for nothing. Then it was just there. That's simple. Because we can't. We're afraid to come together. We're afraid to build. After Tulsa and all of this rioting and hating and jealousy and just doing clownalistic things to us, black people just stop creating and building and contributing because of white America. White America was the only one that wasn't happy and satisfied and sincere. They the ones weren't sincere. We were very sincere. We never threw it up in their faces what they did during slavery, after slavery. We just were like, hey, we could do ourselves. We could do us. But no, they didn't want that. No, they didn't want that. They got to be in control. And so I guess black people were just like, all right, then hell, let their ass do it. Let them have the reins and stuff. But see, when they did that, the ones that got in position for the job wasn't doing what they needed to do. Yeah. Only the few, like Shirley Chisholm. Only the few. What was the one man named John Lewis? Only the few. You know who I'm talking about, them exceptional black men and women that was in the political, arenas and stuff. After them, the ones we got now, the ones that was sitting beside them were waiting on them to get out. Yeah, waiting on them to pass away, retire, transfer. Yeah, they were just waiting. Because, hey, soon as he out the way and stuff, man, we can be making money over money. Yeah, we signing all kind of sabotages against their own people. That's what it seemed like to me. Yeah. It's fucked up what they done did to black folks, but now it's time that we know what's going on. Yeah, so you got white folks, and then you got a whole lot of skin folks that ain't doing right by black people. And at the end of the day, you done wrong against your ancestors, black people. You sold out, you sacrificed, you love. You thought that, this sabotage against black people were going to keep you comfortable and set up until your old age and stuff. But now time is up. Everybody finna be exposed. Hey, the ancestors is doing this. The cosmos is doing this. Not me. Shit, I ain't doing nothing. I don't even know where nobody at. It's gonna find you on itself. The ancestors' karma knows where you at. Because justice must prevail. It's got to. All of this, what in receipt said? All of this, and you think it wasn't going to come a time when it must be avenged, it must be answered for? That's dumb. That is really dumb. I'd have been like, oh no, I ain't signing that. Oh no, man, I don't want that big old mansion shit, man. No, you keep that shit. Man, I'm going to get my little 3-bedroom apartment. No, you can't buy me no damn mini mansion. Talking about you ever gonna set you up in the big old corner office. You're running all kind of damn plans and agendas and events and operations right across your damn legs, and you ain't read nothing, ain't felt nothing, just signing. Black America. We was our own worst enemy and stuff, believing white America. But I digress. It's a new day today. Sure wills, honey. Don't be mad at me. I'm just telling how it is. Y'all done sit here and let the worst of the worst get you in the bad way. We ain't never been this bad off like we are today. Yep, I just hope you wake up before it's too late. Black America. You need a healthy amount of percentage to save yourself. Hell, mankind and humanity is at stake. Everybody in motherfucking danger. Yeah, everybody in danger. But Mother Earth want to go back to her natural state. Hey, we ain't got nothing to do with that. We ain't got nothing to do with that. That's all on white folks. Dr. Delbert Blair said it. That's all on white folks. I done played that short. He said that Mother Earth is purging the motherfuckers that's toxicating her, that's suffocating her, that's maiming her, cutting down her trees. I know what he's talking about. Mother Earth, the earth. Yeah. White folks done polluted her waters and her oceans, done cut all her trees down. That's like cutting her limbs off. I'm just saying that's what they have done. And Mother Earth is tired. She don't want it no more. She don't want them here no more like that. That's all. What I know he ain't talking about us. He is not talking about us. We have not hurt the planet. They've killed a whole lot of them. I wouldn't say all of them. But it was quite a few of them. The exotic pets of the world. You see pictures of them now. So some of them extinct, gone forever. White folks over there done shot a huge giraffe standing on top of the net. Like that's cute. I mean, I'm just saying, Mother Earth want her nature back. She want her nature back. And they ain't doing things to help it out and stuff, to help Mother Earth at all. They not. They still doing things that's antagonizing Mother Earth and cosmic energy. All this futuristic world that y'all so gung-ho over and think it's going to be so awesome. Life going to be like The Fifth Element, that movie with Bruce Willis. That's for white folks. Black people, you don't know where the hell your ass going to be at. So don't. And all of that futuristic shit. Because see, it ain't for you. It's not for you. You ain't going to get no comfort out of it. Maybe some rich, sellout whites probably will. I mean, blacks probably will. I don't know. But I know us, common black folk, no, that's not for us, honey. If your ass gonna pay $350,000 a week or month or whatever, so you can ride around with Sophia and the robot dog and stuff, and then all that futuristic world, it's gonna cost you your money and your soul, because you're gonna have to sacrifice and be the new dog, I guess. I don't know how it's gonna work for y'all black people. This is unprecedented. Everything that's being done is unprecedented. I didn't know none of this hell. So then I didn't even know half of this when I quit school in 11th grade, because they didn't teach none of these things right here. So I'm basically just learning by y'all what y'all be sharing and talking about and stuff, and it's just like, hey, I want to know too, what the hell wrong with black people? So what is wrong with us? Why we won't come together unless it's a funeral? And then that better not be too long, because after we done said our greetings and caught up with each other and stuff, ain't nothing else to do but create, whether it's a song, a dance, a poem, a drawing, an invention, a contribution to society. Ain't nothing to do but create. But see, we've been so traumatized. And Dr. Anthony Browder, Professor Anthony Browder said that he said that the geneticists discovered that we got 30,000 years of body memory in our DNA from them, from our ancestors. We got the good, the bad, and the ugly. I mean, I'm not just saying we got this 30,000 years. We got the good, the bad, and the ugly. 30,000 years worth. The savage, the ravishness, them 30,000 years. I think it's more than that because hell, I know white folks' motherfucking asses will lie. Now, them same, maybe not them same particular geneticists, because on the page before that, I believe, he said that they discovered that black people were here 290,000 years before white folks even came on the scene. Them motherfuckers got here this morning. Practically got here this morning. Yeah, and done did all of this. They studied how to take over. I don't know how the fuck they did it. My brain ain't never been turned on like this. Yours ain't either. But it's time. It is time, yeah. I'm not meaning my jingers, because I learned from y'all. I mean people like myself. People, we didn't reach the educational pinnacle. We didn't reach them financial pinnacles in society where you are the success story. Everybody call you because if you ain't out of the country and stuff, everybody call you because we need some help. No, it's a lot of us that didn't reach them pinnacles, and we struggling out here. We don't know what happened. We don't even know who Nat Turner is. We don't even remember. Oh, yeah, I do remember about Tulsa. But then you go to talking about everything else. No, I don't remember that. I don't remember Greenwood, Rosewood. No, Elaine, Arkansas. No, I don't remember them. And they sincere. We don't remember. We wasn't taught. If it was mentioned and brought up at any point in our life and stuff, it was nipped in the bud. It was nipped in the bud. So, yeah, we got some work to do real quick. Really quick. And, it's unfortunate because y'all been in that Bible all this time right here. Y'all should have been had us away from white folks. Y'all should have been telling us, the Bible telling all of us. Hell, you want to call out everybody. You should have been called the pastor out. All of their asses. Well, at least the ones that, ain't doing right. Pastor Ray Hagen's doing right. Pastor Stephen Darby, before he transcended, was teaching us. It's a whole lot of them that's teaching us the truth now. But then it's a whole lot of other pastors out there got y'all asses buying them jets. And, they at parties and shit where they drinking and twerking over there in the corner. And, but me and the wife ain't there. Me and First Lady is over here having us a good time. I ain't telling you nothing. You should have been calling them pastors out and stuff because they ain't doing nothing but using. And then somebody say that the Bible said Jesus went and threw them folks out of the market. I was just overhearing something. I forgot who was talking about it. Might have been one of y'all. Might have been another show or something. I don't know. But somebody said that Jesus threw the gamblers out of the market or whatever that square was, because I ain't never read the Bible and stuff. So in church, they ain't even supposed to be taking your money. That's what it seemed like to me. But we going to read the Bible. I got a bigger one too. Because you're going to have to let it go. Dr. Ray Hagen said that the Bible, that dedicated ignorance. See, you dedicated to being ignorant because you won't study. You won't learn. You won't communicate and talk about it. You won't. You'll skip over everything and go right back to love thy neighbor. Don't kill, steal, and destroy. Your ass been knowing that since you was in first grade. Yeah, you've been knowing those things since you was a toddler at home with the whole family, and you see everybody loving, caring, and sharing with each other. Then when you get to school, what they teach you, take your turn. Don't break in line, stand in line, take your turn and stuff. It's just so much. We got to read between the lines for us, because them things like that, they just trap us. I am so sleepy. I don't know if we're going to read at all tonight. But I'm here now. Yeah, I'm here now. So, yeah, just start studying. Reach out to your family and stuff. I don't care if it's just one. I don't know. Get all the babies and stuff. Get all the babies on the weekend. when they ain't at school and stuff, honey. And yeah, fix everybody pancakes and stuff, you know, let everybody make them some pancakes and strawberries and stuff. And yeah, just bring out the books for them. Bring out the books for them, you know. When they get back home and stuff, they're going to be telling their mama and stuff about Robert Smalls and Mary McLeod Bethune and stuff. And her, I don't know nothing about them, and I don't want to talk about them now. What they do now? Because it's going to take time for us, the adults. But see, the kids, the children, you probably have more better luck with them. Start with the young ones. The young ones, because you know them 12 and 13-year-olds, I don't know, you're going to have to take them some books like Betty Before X. Betty Before She Met Malcolm X. You know, depending on the age and stuff. You know your family, I know mine too. We just going to have to be creative because we got to start teaching us. Hell, didn't they used to say, reach one, teach one? Yeah, we're going to have to start teaching us ourselves. So start wherever you may. If you feel like it's easier to have a cookout or, you know, and get the cooking and stuff and invite all your group over there, your social circle over there and stuff, and while y'all relaxing and chilling and stuff, you know, y'all cooking and eating and you just start reading. Yeah, if you just start reading and stuff, I don't know how you gonna do it. But shit, you got to do something because we need movement. We need action within us. You know, we're going to catch up with everybody else out there. I am. Sure is. I want to be a part of the solution. But for right here, right now, where I'm at, yeah, we all finna do this and we're going to catch up with everybody else. We're going to catch up like with Harriet. Yeah. Yeah, but that's what we're going to do. So, yeah, we got to start doing, you know, things that's going to benefit us and our people, not individually. Not individually. This right here got to be a collective thing for us. So, Dublin, Georgia, the Dublin Herald, and it's in Georgia. July the 2nd, 1919. The summer 1919. We were just talking about that. Fatally wound wrong Negro. And see, they just printed it so no respect whatsoever on any level. Yeah. But this is how they printed it in the newspaper. Fatally wound wrong Negro. Like it wasn't even worth the proper title. Yep, that was white America for you. And they still doing you like that, Black America. The media is still fucking over your black ass. Yes, they are. A Negro, Cleveland Butler, was shot and fatally wounded by 4 white men in Twiggs County yesterday, according to the news reaching Dublin, when he was arrested by the men on suspicion that he was Hubert Cummings, the Negro badly wanted in Lawrence County. After the Negro had died, parties from Dublin saw him and stated positively that he was not Cummings. According to the story told by members of the Lawrence County parties who went to identify the Negro, the 4 white men implicated were Messenger Tharp, Griffin, Myers, and another man they did not know. These men stated they heard of a strange Negro working in the chalk mines just over the line in Twiggs County, and after seeing him, decided that he very much resembled Cummings. They decided to capture him. And laid their plans. Learning that he was asleep at a Negro house near the mines, they went to the house Tuesday and went into the room where the Negro was sleeping. They stated they called to him twice, and when he did not answer, they decided he might be preparing to shoot at them through the coverings and decided to shoot first, which they did. The load from a shotgun fired at close range tore away a portion of the Negro's jaw and chin, his teeth and tongue, making an ugly wound. Neither of the men was an officer of any kind, but they carried the Negro to the sheriff of Twiggs County, who refused to take him, telling the men that the Negro should go to the hospital at once, and if he proved to be Cummings, Macon was the place to carry him. Macon, Georgia. They carried the Negro to the jail in Macon, But here again, the sheriff refused to take him, but told the men to rush the man to the hospital at once. Why the hell they didn't take him to the hospital? No emotion whatsoever. This cannot be no emotion whatsoever. None of it. They carried him to the Macon hospital, where he died a few minutes after being taken in. They didn't even arrest these men. While this was going on, Deputy Sheriff Lester Watson had been notified by Sheriff Griffin of the Negro's capture, and he gathered a party who knew Cummings well and went to Macon to identify the Negro. The Dublin party saw the Negro about 10 minutes after he had died and immediately stated that he was not Cummings. Although he favored Cummings, the dead Negro was reported lighter in color with an old scar on his face that Cummings did not have. The men from this county were positive that it was not Cummings. Just what would be the outcome of the case against the white men who are responsible for the Negro's death is not known here, but they are in a rather peculiar and somewhat uncomfortable position as a result of the affair. No, they weren't. Just in a few pages before that, they killed the wrong black man a couple of times. And then when it got the correct white man that they said allegedly committed the crime and killed him. There was one family in here. They couldn't get the brother. But remember, they went and got the sister. Drugged the sister outside and lynched her. Tore her clothes off of her. And whipped her. Did what they did to her and stuff. And lynched her because they couldn't get to the brother. They didn't care that there was the wrong man. Sometimes when the white men, this white mob, these clanimals, when they couldn't get the alleged criminal, and most times they were lies. When they couldn't get them and stuff, they just went through the whole town just grabbing black people, killing black people, shooting black people, going through the community and stuff, just shooting and terrorizing black folks. They rise up and make the whole community leave town. That's why we got that saying. Well, whoever came up with it. I'm gonna see who came up with that saying. Hajira of black people. Yeah, black people running for their lives. Is that how it was said? Because I had mentioned it a time or two, but that's why. Hajira of Negroes. Black people running for their lives. Because white people have always motherfucking been the threat against us. We ain't never been no threat against white folks. At this point today, allegedly 2025, yeah, they better stay out our motherfucking face. Tell their kids to stay out our face. Stay out of our children's faces. With that bullshit. Trying to tell them what to do. Man. New York Tribune, July the 5th, 1919. Lynchings on decline. Mobile, Alabama, July the 4th. Lynchings during the first 6 months of 1919 were fewer than during the same 6 months of 1918, but more numerous than in 1917, according to the record kept by the Tuskegee Institute. The total for the current year to date is 28, in comparison with 35 in 1918 and 14 for the first half of 1917. Of those lynched in 1919, one Negro woman was included. And we got a list of black women that were lynched. Yep, it's like maybe 20, 21. New York Sun, August the 29th, 1919. Lynched Negro, burn church. Eastman, Georgia, August the 29th. A mob of white residents attacked Eli Cooper, a leader among the Negroes, as he was in a church at Ocmulgee, Ocmulgee, Georgia. And he shot him to death yesterday. The mob then burned the church. Later, other Negro churches and a lodge were burned. The attack on Cooper grew out of the rumor that the Negroes were planning to rise and exterminate the white residents of the section. That was a lie. That was a motherfucking lie. These white folks have done nothing but lie so they can have excuses and justify the torture and the terror that they've done to black people. That's all they've done, y'all. They are the true threat to black people and all other people. White folks are a threat to life itself. Other groups of people, they ain't no motherfucking safer. Sure ain't. They thinking, oh yeah, as long as it's black folks, just don't let them do that shit to us. Oh, they will. They sure will. Black folks are a threat to them. Ooh-wee. Chicago Defender, September 6, 1919. Church burnings follow Negro agitators lynching. Eastman, Georgia. And you know it said in Racial Violence in Kentucky, 1865 to 1940, that the cities, the towns that had multiple newspapers, each newspaper was competing against each other to see who could get more sellouts and more subscribers and stuff. So that's why sometimes you'll see the same story, you hear the same story, but it's from different newspapers. They got different views and stuff. And they would each embellish their stories so that, it'll be more interesting. People will, get them the money. They newspapers will sell out like hotcakes. So they would embellish the stories and stuff. Like, a white woman that was assaulted and stuff. Oh, she was a virgin. Oh, she was pregnant. Oh, she was pregnant with twins. Oh, one of the twins died. They was always embellishing it so that their story would get more profit than the other newspapers and stuff. And that's all it took for white men. Oh, honey, they started just slobbing at the mouth when they hear shit, make up lies and stuff. It was just entertainment for them. Eastman, Georgia, September the 5th. The charred body of Eli Cooper, an aged farmer who resided 2 miles from Caldwell, was found in the ashes of Okmulgee African Church, which was burned by a crowd of white men at an early hour on the morning of August 28th. 3 other churches and several lodge halls were burned by the same band of outlaws during the day. The men who visited the community near Caldwell and dragged Cooper from his home are known to officials here. However, no arrests have been made and none are expected. Cooper is alleged to have said that the Negro has been run over for 50 years, but it must stop now. And pistols and shotguns are the only weapons to stop a mob. When the whites learned of this, they formed a posse and made for Cooper's home. A crowd of 20 men battered the door of Cooper's home and pounced upon him with knives and axes. He was killed as his wife looked on. His wife. The body was tied to a buggy and dragged to the church. Torches were applied to the house of worship, and when the flames were licking high into the air, Cooper's nude form was thrown into the blaze. Remember Red Summer? Yeah, one of them stories, I think it was Red Summer, was saying how the mob lynched the man, the husband, and the wife, and the baby was in the yard running around and stuff, and they had set the church on fire. And when they were getting ready to ride off on their horses, they picked the baby up and threw the baby in the damn burning church, just like they did him. And Joe Ruffin, the leading opening story in Red Summer, his 2 sons, they didn't get Joe. Joe survived miraculously, physically. And they didn't get Joe. They went and got Joe's best friend, Willie Williams. Yep, Willie Williams, because they couldn't get to Joe because they moved Joe to another location. But they got 2 of his sons. And They tortured them and threw them in the fire in the church. And the next day they said they didn't know which one of his sons had the chain wrapped around his neck and which one had the rope wrapped around his neck. White people always been a threat against us. It don't matter what they say. It don't matter what they say. They cannot. No. Can't put that shit on us. He was killed as his wife looked on. The body was tied to a buggy and dragged to the church. Torches were applied to the house of worship, and when the flames were licking high into the air, Cooper's nude form was thrown into the blaze. The church was discovered in flames about 1 o'clock in the morning. When neighboring Negro farmers endeavored to extinguish the flames, a crowd of about 50 white men held them at bay with revolvers. We black people, if y'all don't get the fuck away from white folks, I'm just saying, honey. Now, all the motherfucking pretense in the world don't make up for none of this right here. All the innocent, I didn't know, we didn't know these things and stuff. That don't mean a goddamn thing today. We ain't got no business or no benefit keeping ourselves up under white America, running after they goddamn asses. We don't. For the life and the future of your babies, black babies, we need to do the right thing. We need to do the right thing by our ancestors now. This ain't got nothing to do with your black ass and your feelings. Because you love, I love Sabrina. I've been with her for 12 days, damn it, Face. I'm not leaving her. And this is bigger than you. This is bigger than you. If you're going to stay with her, ask her ass about this then. Bring it to the opening. We need to. We can't keep staying. I know, yes. Oh, we've been married 12 years then. Oh, well, then maybe she loved your ass enough. Y'all can heal together with this and raise them babies up to make sure that black lineage lives on. Make sure that black baby grow up, marry a black man or a black woman, and have black babies. You keep that black person's lineage living on. Don't you sit up here and get with no white person now. And you don't teach that baby, that mixed baby. You don't let that mixed baby learn and be around that black side of the family. Don't do that bullshit. Goddamn it, stand for something. For the future. I'm just saying. This shit right here now. Come on now. I know somebody done read these books. Y'all ass so goddamn complacent out there with white folks. Act like you never knew any of this. Oh, maybe it's y'all first time reading it too. I don't know. But I hope it is. Because if y'all knew all of this shit right here, hell, I think it was yesterday. I was talking to my ancestors. Honey, how come I look right in somebody's camera and was like, because ancestors, I ain't going to heaven with white folks. Yeah, they were recording them. I didn't know. Hell, why everybody got to goddamn it record everything? But then I was saying, well, maybe they can't read lips anyway, ancestors and shit. I don't know hell. Shit, I'm just saying. But yeah. It's like, damn, y'all. Now watch you try to go against it. No, we going to heaven, Face. Just so dumb shit. It don't make no sense. I know. No, I'm not the only one that's just now reading these things, finding out these things. Those of y'all that knew about these things right here, honey, you should have never gave up and kept your silence about any of this. Hell, you should have been like, shit, hell, I could tell this. I could talk about this. My pastor can't. My mama pastor can't because I don't go to church, Face, but I can. Hell, I don't even be trying to mention this, but I do. Because, hell, if you going to talk to me, you going to talk to me. We ain't finna sit up here, goddamn it, talking about some two-stepping and stuff. Who? Honey, you ain't two-stepping to no earth, wind, and fire. What is you talking about? With revolvers. They couldn't even put the flames out at the church because them motherfuckers had revolvers on them. Now you tell me, who is the terrorist? Who is the terror? The tormentor? The torturer? Who is the cannibal? Who is the inhumane one? Because it ain't black people. Yeah, we got some hotheads out here right now. And that's because when they were so young and stuff, that I don't know, during that puberty level, I don't know what age they were when that restlessness set in. Because after all of this time and stuff, some of our children said, hell no, I'm not learning that shit. I'm not going and setting that shit. And they didn't. Can't nobody tell them nothing. That's because our black asses didn't teach them nothing. We didn't teach them nothing. We didn't teach them the good, the bad, the ugly. We didn't teach them nothing. We ain't taught ourselves nothing. Now they out there looking for love in all the wrong places and claiming hoods and neighborhoods and stuff. Ain't got no sense of identity whatsoever. And them the exact ones these motherfuckers talking about is the threat. Honey, go on out there and get your brother, your uncle, your cousin, your daddy, whoever he is and stuff, whoever, your neighbor. You know him and stuff. I don't know, give him a book. No, he ain't gonna want to go with you and stuff. Hell, he been out there that long, but at least leave him with a few dollars and a book so he can at least give his mind a chance. Sometimes it's that first page of a book have you hooked to the end. It could change your life. It could take you places. A book can save your life, take you places, help you get up out of there. Look at y'all with that Bible. But it's doing the opposite effect. You know, that Bible is, I'm just saying, I don't know if y'all know or not. But yeah, let's read. Cooper's body could be seen leaning against a tree. And the white man was taking shots at it. White man was shooting at his body. Just shooting at his body. It is estimated that over 500 shots pierced 500 shots pierced F. Cooper's body, it is said. A foot from the dead man's farm was found a few yards from the church. Oh, a foot from the dead man's farm was found a few yards from the church. His foot. They found his foot. Cooper, it is said, worked on the plantation of A.P. Petway, Petway, and sought to organize the farm laborers into a union for the purpose of demanding better wages. He has been unpopular with the white people ever since this became known, and some white people warned him that unless he discontinued his efforts to organize the laborers, he would be found dead on the streets some bright morning, as one communication to him stated. That's what they said. It is near the scene of the burning that Barry Washington, age 65, was lynched by a mob in May. Washington, bowed by the weight of his age, shot in defense of his daughter's honor, who was in the clutches of a white man. The girl's assailant entered Washington's home, drove the old man into the kitchen of the dwelling at the point of a revolver, and ordered the daughter, a maiden of 16 years old, to accept his affections in the parlor of the home. Washington secured a revolver, crept around the outside of the house to the front window, and fired on the intruder. The man fell mortally wounded. Washington summoned the sheriff and surrendered. It was shortly after the shooting that he was taken from the jail, carried to a lonely spot, and strung to a tree. The lynching was kept a secret for 3 months, but came to light when a minister wrote a letter to organizations in New York and Chicago telling of the brutal crime. A reward of $1,000 had been offered by Governor Dorsey, D-O-R-S-E-Y, for the apprehension of the parties guilty of burning 4 churches and 3 large buildings near Cordell, Georgia. The buildings were burned on different nights and followed in the path of the lynching of James Grant, a returned soldier. The churches were worth approximately $5,000 each, and the lodge hall was slightly less. After the churches were fired, hundreds of citizens left the vicinity, and plantations were literally deserted. At a mass meeting held by white people in the courthouse, yard appeals were sent out requesting our people to remain, lest the crops go to ruin unharvested. Yeah, that was a lot, wasn't it? At a mass meeting held by white people in the courthouse, yard appeals were sent out requesting our people to remain, lest the crops go to ruin unharvested. Still wanting them to come out and work in the fields. Montgomery Advertiser, September 29, 1919. Mayor of Omaha is dead of lynch mob injuries. Omaha, September 29. Mayor Edward P. Smith, who tried vainly last night to prevent a mob from lynching a Negro prisoner, died shortly after midnight from injuries inflicted by the mob, which began to lynch him too. Omaha Bee, October the 5th, 1919. Joe Coe lynching recalled. That it is, Joe Coe. That's his name, Joe Coe, C-O-E. The lynching of Will Brown in Omaha Sunday night was the first that occurred in this city since Saturday, October 10th, 1891, when Joe Coe, alias George Smith, was hanged to a wire supporting the Harney Street trolley wire in front of the Boyd Theater, 17th and Harney Street, just 1 block from the scene of the hanging of Brown Sunday night. I know this is not talking about Willie Brown. In the book, Red Summer. Oh, my ancestors. It's in Omaha. It's in Omaha. Willie was in, yep. September the 28th, 1919. This newspaper clipping right here was October the 5th, 1919. And you know, in Red Summer, that's our Black Jesus right there. Your Black Jesus, that's your Black Jesus right there. Yep. White people lynched him, dismembered him. We got Black Jesuses. You ain't got to worry about the white Jesus no more. Yep. You reading your Bible now and stuff, I hope you thinking about Black Jesus. He got wood on him. That's a cross under him. Yeah, you got 100 years right here. Black Jesuses. You do, Black America. You ain't got no more excuses. Move. Get down. Move. You ain't got no more excuses no more. You sure don't, honey. You got excuses and stuff, just say your ass is scared. That's all you got to do. And the ancestors, your higher power, will give you that spirit of no fear. That's what y'all always say. God didn't give us a spirit of fear. But if your ass scared of this right here, you better voice it to them and let them know to give you some strength and some courage of theirs. Ask them, they'll give it to you. Malcolm will give you all his courage if you ask him. Ask him, Khalid. Yeah, Dick Gregory, they all give you their courage if you just ask for it. Yeah, but you got to do it. If they don't let you know, that's what you're here for. Yeah. Smith, alias Joe Coe, was charged with brutally assaulting a 5-year-old girl named Lizzie Yates, who was reported dead the afternoon before Coe was lynched. The alleged death of the little girl later proved to be without foundation. Some white man did that. The accused Negro was taken from the city jail Friday afternoon and driven to the home of the girl's parents, living at 1712 North 18th Street, for the purpose of identification. He was dressed in different clothes that he wore at the time of the attack, but Mrs. Yates was quite certain he was the Negro who had been prowling around the house, representing himself to be a garbage man. She said she would not be willing to swear positively as to his identity. The little girl was still timid and very nervous from her experience and could not be induced to look at the Negro. So nothing could be obtained from her in the way of identifying her assailant. At 8:30, a crowd collected around the city jail, but they were told that the accused Negro had been taken to the county jail. They collected around the city jail, but they were told that the accused Negro had been taken to the county jail. By 9 o'clock, there was a crowd of over 1,000 white men around the county jail yelling, "Bring out the nigger, bring out the nigger, bring him out." That's what they were doing. It was entertainment for them. Numerous cries like this, and almost at exactly the same time, were heard at the courthouse Sunday night. After a good deal of howling, someone yelled, "Let's break the door." And soon a line of men appeared carrying a long, heavy post. Sheriff John F. Boyd appeared and standing on the steps said, "Gentlemen and fellow citizens, as Sheriff of Douglas County, I command you to disperse. I know what you want, but Smith is not here. He was taken away about supper time." "A fake, a lie," the crowd howled. After a moment, the sheriff was able to continue and said that he must do his duty and protect the jail. "If I had my way," said Boyd on closing, "I would furnish the rope to hang the wretch." Wow. That's what he said, kind of like Abraham, ain't him? "If I didn't have to free him, I wouldn't." Well, let's read. Governor James E. Boyd was sent for and, crowding his way to the steps, attempted to speak. But the howling stopped only for a moment while the governor said, "For the honor of Omaha, men, desist. Your actions are a disgrace to the city and will bring shame to every man in it. I implore you to cease and let the law take its course. Be men and disperse." Councilman Moriarty, Moriarty, grabbed hold of the bars over the window of the jailer's office and urged the mob on. Moriarty started things by thrusting his cane through the bars and breaking the windows. A couple dozen men took up the heavy post and, using it as a round, started to break through the steel bars. This could not be done, and attention was turned to the window casing. Every stroke of the timber was greeted with lusty cheers. See, white folks, this was entertainment for them. Yes, honey, this is like the games that y'all asses be at and shit. And you see how they be just going wild over these games and stuff? Yes, it don't stand a candle to how they was at these lynchings. Yeah, it don't. It said Councilman Moriarty grabbed hold of the bars over the window of the jailer's office and urged the mob on. His ass, the one, started thrusting his cane through the bars and breaking the windows. The councilman. An old white-haired man, Uncle Jimmy Cannon, Cannon, who was as much of a leader as anyone, said he would go and started to climb into the window, but he was met by jailer Lynch, who held a heavy revolver at the old man's head and told him to get out. Then a 20-foot plank was brought up and shoved into the room, clearing it of its occupants, who retreated into the hallway. Once inside, the crowd made short of the door opening from the office to the corridor. The door opening into the large cell on the lower floor was broken, and the crowd made its way upstairs to the room where the Negro spent the last hours of his life. The door leading to his room was broken open, and the crowd rushed in, surrounding the steel cage, in one corner of which crouched the miserable object of their search. A blanket was wrapped around him, and he was endeavoring to conceal himself. The sight of the steel cage did not daunt the attacking party, and demands for sledgehammers, crowbars, cold chisels, etc., shouted through the window. And cold chisels shouted through the window, met with quick response from those outside, and soon the noise of resounding blows awakened the echoes outside. They were telling them outside, "Well, we need, get us some chisels. We need hammers. Give me some cold crowbars." Because they had to break into the steel thing. They didn't have the keys. Meanwhile, a dozen policemen stood outside, but they were utterly helpless and did not attempt to do anything. The crowd was constantly receiving accessions until about 10,000 people were collected. The hill about the jail was literally black with people, and Harney Street from 18th to 16th were filled with a howling, surging mob. It was that many white people there. It looked like ants. It was so many. It said it was literally black with people. It didn't say it was literally with black people. It was all white people there. And it was so many of them, y'all. It just packed the street. It's like nightfall just came at 3 o'clock. That's how dark it was when they all just... Can you imagine how Willie felt? At this time, the fire department arrived on the scene, but every attempt of the men to connect the hose was stopped by members of the mob, the same as occurred last Sunday. The hose was cut into bits. Seeing all attempts to turn the hose on the crowd were useless, the firemen were withdrawn. At 12:25, the leaders of the mob called to the crowd to give them room to get out of the window of the jail office. With a blood-curdling yell, the crowd gave way for the leaders and the doomed man. Several men sprang out of the window with the rope in their hands, and others shoved the half-dead brute out of the window. Then the most fearful work ever witnessed at the hands of a mob in Omaha up until that time was performed amid the piercing yells of thousands of desperate men. The rope was grasped by nearly 100 men who ran down to 17th and Harney Streets. The accused Negro was dragged by the neck all the way and was nearly dead before he had been dragged 100 feet. The mob rushed upon him, kicking and jumping upon him as he was jerked down over the rough pavement, his clothing being almost torn from his body and the skin and flesh bleeding in a shocking manner. The leaders in the rope brigade made for a telegraph pole at the southwest corner of 17th and Harney Streets. One of the lynchers climbed up the pole, but found no projection to throw the rope across, and quickly descended to lead the way to a pole that stood diagonally across the street, directly north and across the street from the Boyd Theater. Within a short time, the end of the rope was returned to the mob below, and in a second, the body of the Negro was dangling in the air. Beneath the dangling body stood the mob, looking up at the object of their fearful revenge, gleaming in the electric light, and their voices filling the air with the cries of a vengeance, fully satisfied. While the majority of the great crowd quietly left for home, now they ask and go home. Like they done ate good and now they can sleep. Fully 1,000 persons remained and completely blocked the streets and the sidewalks near the dead man. Calls for speeches were sent up by the crowd. Julius S. Cooley, Cooley, was first spotted and compelled to make a talk. Cooley didn't say much of anything beyond claiming a great saving to the county by such action, and advocated the laws of Judge Lynch on account of celerity and economy. Not celebrity, celerity, Celerity, celerity and economy. Heffy, I guess, Heafy. Heffy and Heffy's undertaking wagon drove up as the speech ended and was greeted with cheers. Some of them cried, "Let him hang, damn it, let him hang." Amid such remarks, the body was lowered into the box after having hung 1 hour. And with one final hooray, the wagon drove down Farnham Street on a gallop. Notwithstanding the terrific jam, no serious accidents occurred, though several persons were more or less injured, being knocked down and walked over. Cole was a married man and had a wife and a child who resided in the alley between 11th and 12th Streets in the rear of the Wells Fargo Express Company. Atlanta Constitution, October 4th, 1919. Sumter Negro found dead after spreading propaganda. Americus, Georgia, October 3rd. The body of Ernest Glenwood, a Negro, was found yesterday in Flint River near the line of Sumter and Dooley counties by Tom Shearer, Shirer, a fisherman. The Negro, who formerly lived in the vicinity of Lilly, Lily, Dooley County, disappeared September 22nd when he was taken in custody by 3 masked men. Glenwood, it is charged, had been circulating incendiary propaganda among Negroes in Dooley County, and when he was seized, it was believed he would be whipped and made to leave the community. When the body was found yesterday, a rope was about the neck and another stout cord about the right wrist. It is not known how Glenwood came to his death, but it is believed after he had been severely whipped and set free that he fell from the river bridge, 14 miles from Americus and only a short distance from where the body was found. He was thrown over the bridge. Atlanta Constitution, May the 9th, 1920. And that's the same thing that Emmett Till Uncle Moses thought that Carolyn Bryant's husband and her brothers, when they went to their house in the middle of the night and got Emmett Till. And Moses, his uncle said, I remember his uncle said, I'll take care of it, I'll whoop him. And they said, nah, we'll take care of it. We'll whoop him, we'll bring him back. So they thought that they were just going to whip Emmett too. But they didn't. They tortured Emmett, 14-year-old Emmett, and killed him. They lynched that baby. Atlanta Constitution, May the 9th, 1920. Train porter lynched after insult to woman. Tampa, Florida, May the 8th. Riddled by 40 or 50 bullets, the body of an unidentified Negro porter was found beside the Lake Bartow Road, about 8 miles from the former city, shortly before midnight. The man was porter on Atlantic Coast Line train number 82, northbound, and was taken from his train when it passed Lakeland about 10:30 p.m. when a young white woman en route to Barstow stated that he had insulted her. She proceeded to Bartow and sent Chief Deputy Sheriff Clyde Olive back for the Negro. The deputy later stated he was alone with the handcuffed Negro driving to Bartow when he was overtaken by 3 auto loads of armed men who demanded the black and ordered the officer to proceed on his way. A car beside the Negro's body bore the legend, "This is what you get for insulting a white woman." New York Negro World, May 29, 1920. Woman's impatience revealed as cause of porter's death. Lakeland, Florida, May the 10th. The motive behind the lynching of Henry Scott, a Negro poorman porter who was killed by a mob near here 2 days ago, was revealed today in greater detail. Scott was lynched because he had allegedly insulted a white woman, according to the woman's own story. Scott denied having insulted her. His story was that the woman had asked him to arrange her birth, birth, while he was engaged in arranging another woman's birth, birth, whatever that is on the train. He asked her to wait until he was finished what he was doing. She became highly indignant. The woman sent a telegram to the next station stating that Scott had insulted her. When the train stopped, Scott was removed by a deputy sheriff. From there, the story followed the usual lynch pattern. A mob overpowered the sheriff, and killed the Negro. The coroner's jury returned the usual verdict: death at the hands of parties unknown. Brooklyn Times, June 16, 1920. 3 roustabouts lynched in mock trial in Minnesota. We just read this. This was one of our books, Lynchings in Duluth. We just read it. Duluth, Minnesota, June 16. 3 circus roustabouts, all Negroes, were lynched here last night by a rioting mob of 5,000 for the alleged crime of attacking a 17-year-old white girl. Her name was Irene Tusken, Tusken. Isaac McGee, McGhie, he was the one that was praying for Jesus and God to come and save him. Help him. Elmer Jackson and Nate Green. I had Isaac McGhie, Elmer Jackson, and Elias Clayton. I'm going to have to go back and look at my list because I think I got the names wrong. Yeah. Isaac McGhie, Elmer Jackson, and Nate Green were hanged at intervals of 8 minutes after a mock trial had been held by the mob. The 3 men, held on suspicion of the crime, had been removed from the jail by the mob. McGhie was the first victim. A noose was placed around his neck at 11:30 last night. He declared his innocence and pleaded for mercy. 2 Catholic priests begged the crowd to let the law take its course. Reverend Father E.J. Howard climbed 15 feet up a telephone pole and under the dim glare of an arc light, prayed for the crowd to release the Negroes. He was hooted by the crowd. McGhie was jerked into the air 3 times. The rope broke on the first 2 attempts. He begged for mercy until an impassioned speech was cut short by his 3rd ascent. Jackson was the next victim, followed by Green. Both declared they were not guilty of the attack. Officials here said it was the first manifestation. It was the first manifestation of mob spirit in Duluth in years. Well, I thought this was the first and only lynching in Duluth. So what it mean in years? So what it mean this was the first manifestation of mob spirit in Duluth in years? The storm last night broke slowly. Reports of the attack on the white girl were spread about town by afternoon newspapers. Groups collected in the streets. All of a sudden, Police Lieutenant E.H. Barber said the groups melted into one huge mass, which came tearing down the street toward the jail. We refused to give up the prisoners, of course. Then they got timbers and began wrecking things. We couldn't stand them off. We called on the firemen. They came on the gallop, laying lines as they came. They poured water into the mob, using the highest possible pressure. No, they didn't. If they'd used the pressure they used on black folks, they ass would have got up out of there. The outside of the mob melted away, but the main body stood firm. Some of the men were caught in the face and strangled as the water caught them. Most of them just humped their backs and went on battering the doors. When they got inside, the men quickly determined that 3 of the black prisoners were guilty, hauled them out, and they hanged them. As soon as the 3 were dead, the crowd dispersed and all was quiet. It happened so quickly, it didn't look real. Now that's living vicariously through the other lynchings in this country that was going on. I don't know. You tell me. If that ain't what it was. And that was a lie. Minnesotans, the Luthians came up with that lie so they motherfucking ass could experience what white folks was used to experiencing and doing. Oh, we just got to. Just one time, we got to experience it. Atlanta Journal, June 21st, 1920. Huge mob tortures Negro to avenge brutal slaying. Within a few hours after he had been captured near Stilson in Bullock County yesterday, Philip Gathers, Gathers, the Negro who brutally murdered Miss Anza Jordan, Anzajaudon, near Rincon, Rincon, 10 days ago, was lynched on the spot where the body of the young woman was found. The murder of the beautiful young woman was avenged in a manner that ought to strike terror to those who might be tempted to commit a similar crime. After his body had been mutilated while he was alive, the Negro was saturated with gasoline and burned, and while he was burning, his body was literally riddled with bullets and buckshot. The mob numbered several thousand and was composed of men and women from Effingham, Bullock, Chatham, and Screven counties. White folks came from all over. And that's Screven, Screven counties. The crime was committed in Effingham, about 3 miles from Rincon, Rincon. And it was there that the black brute paid the supreme penalty for the crime. You see how they talk about you? The media do. You should be listening to black media from this day forward. Only time you need to carry your black ass over there to white media is to see what they telling white folks. Other than me going to see what white folks is telling white folks, I don't want to see they motherfucking asses. No, not if I ain't got to. My 24 hours of the day won't be spent looking at their asses. Sure won't. Honey, you better start setting some boundaries, black folks. The execution of the Negro was witnessed by hundreds of persons, and many thousands who were in the crowd literally fought to get close enough to see the actual details. Almost every person had a firearm. And it seemed that everyone carried a gun or a pistol, emptied the weapon into the man's prostrate body. He was not shot until he had been mutilated and saturated with gasoline and a match touched. The infuriated mob could hold itself in check no longer. One shot was fired from a revolver, and it was the signal for 1,000 shots, which made mincemeat of his body. 4 young women from the crowd pushed their way through the outer rim of the circle and emptied rifles into the Negro. Yeah, 4 white women. Honey, they pushed their way to the front of the crowd and just emptied their rifles all into the black man. They stood by while other men cut off fingers, his toes, and other parts of his body and passed them around as souvenirs. After all of the ammunition had been used, more wood was piled on the remains and gasoline poured in the fire. And gasoline poured on the pile. Later, the charred remains were tied to the limb of a tree and left dangling over the road. The lower part of the body hung so low there was hardly any room for automobiles to clear it. The first news of the captures was received in Savannah by the Morning News. It was telegraphed from Stilson by J.S. Kenan, Kenan, the Morning News correspondent at Statesboro, who had been with the Bullock posse almost constantly since Saturday morning when Gathers was first discovered in Bullock. The news spread rapidly. Chief Harley of the county police sent around the corner to the Grantham Motor Company and borrowed a new Appleton car, driven by George Waters. In this, he and County Policeman O'Neill and a Morning News reporter made a quick trip to the scene of the murder. Dr. Keenan telegraphed that Gathers had been captured 1.5 miles from Stilson and that he would be taken to the home of Miss Jordan's mother, 3 miles from Rincon. This automobile went to Rincon and was directed via McCall's Road to the Jordan home. None of the captors had arrived, so the party drove into the narrow road through the swamp to the scene of the murder. There they found the exact spot where the body of Miss Jordan was found. 2 other machines were already there. Shortly afterward, cars began arriving from every direction. Within an hour, there were nearly 500 machines in the swamp, and the crowd was rapidly swelling. An hour and 10 minutes after the first car arrived on this lonely road where Miss Jordan was murdered, the posse from Bullock arrived with the Negro. His arrival was heralded with a shout, but there was really no disorder at that time. Older heads commanded the hot bloods to be careful and not shoot. Among those waiting were a brother and a sister of the victim. The crowd was forced back, and they were allowed to talk to gatherers. The sister begged the Negro to tell her what her sister's last words were, but he refused to admit that he committed the crime because he didn't. The brother had said he hoped a confession would be obtained before the lynchers did their work, but he said afterwards that he was absolutely certain the right man had been punished. A pile of wood had been placed on the spot where the body was discovered a week ago yesterday. As gatherers was being dragged, pushed, and shoved along, men reached over the shoulders of comrades and struck the Negro on the head with the butts of their guns. Others slashed him with knives. One man stabbed him several times. While he was being chained to a small tree over the wood pile, he was treated to further surgical punishment below the belt. Through it all, he never murmured. Through it all, he never murmured. A match was applied after he had been chained around the chest and legs to the sapling. The wood was wet and soggy and burned so slowly. The mob became impatient, and somebody called for gasoline. Up to this time, not a shot had been fired, and the crowd was remarkably quiet under the circumstances. 2 quarts of gasoline were drawn from an automobile. It was poured over the Negro. The blaze enveloped the body and caused the crowd to fall back. With a yell, the Negro lunged forward and broke the chains that held him to the tree. The force with which he tore himself free carried him 10 feet away. As he fell, a shot was fired, and then it sounded like 100 machine guns had cut loose. There was a scrambling for cover, and it was remarkable that many were not shot, as men standing in a complete circle about the body were firing as fast as they could pull the trigger and reload. After all of the shooting was over, it was discovered that H.J. Haterick of Oliver had been hit by a stray bullet. He was hit in the left leg about halfway between the knee and the ankle. Dr. Usher examined and bandaged the wound and said the bullet had glanced off the bone and come out without doing serious injury. The original program of the searchers was to take the Negro by the home of Mrs. Jordan, so Mrs. Jordan could see him, but this was not done as she was almost prostrated. The captors left Stilson about 9 o'clock and made the trip around by Oliver and Springfield. No effort was made to interfere with them. The lynching took place at 12:15 o'clock. Just before the prisoner was delivered to the scene of the lynching, it was reported that the Savannah Home Guard had been called out. This did not cause the crowd a great deal of concern, as they expected to finish their task before the military could arrive, and they did. The first of the guard reached Monteith in time to meet the crowds returning from the lynching. Okay, this is going to be the last one, I think. New York Mail, July the 8th, 1920. Let me see. Yeah. Because we're in a new chapter anyway. Yeah, we're in a new chapter. That's why. If it was just a couple more stories, we would go ahead and finish this chapter. New York Mail, July the 8th, 1920. Lynching in churchyard. In the churchyard. Durham, North Carolina. Edward Roach, Negro prisoner, age 24. Held on a charge of attacking a 13-year-old white girl, was taken from the county jail at Roxborough by a mob of more than 200 masked men and hanged yesterday from the limb of a tree in a rural Negro churchyard. Raleigh, North Carolina Independent. July the 10th, 1920. That's Raleigh Independent. It's in North Carolina. Negro lynched at Roxborough. Roxborough, July the 7th. As the result of attempted criminal assault upon Annie Lou Chambers, a 14-year-old white girl, Ed Roach, a 24-year-old Negro from Reedsville, was lynched early this morning by a mob comprising approximately 200 men. An investigation held today failed to disclose the identity of any member of the mob. Miss Chambers, who is the daughter of Mr. Edward Chambers of Chatham County, is visiting her uncle, Mr. Garland Chambers, who lives several miles south of Roxborough. Yesterday afternoon, she was found badly bruised and with Roach's fingerprints on her throat and face. Roach was next seen boarding a Norfolk and Western train at Helena, 7 miles south of here, about 6 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Dr. George Gentry of Roxborough, who was near the station, heard that the Negro was on the train and raced the locomotive to Roxborough, arriving in time to have Roach arrested at the station. A pistol was said to have been found in Roach's pocket. Miss Chambers was brought to the jail and positively identified Roach as her assailant. No move was made to seize Roach until 2 o'clock this morning, when a mob of about 200 men formed at the Person County Jail where Roach had been held since his arrest. Sheriff N.S. Thompson was at the jail, and he pleaded with the crowd to disperse and permit the law to take its course. The response of the crowd was that it would give the sheriff 3 minutes to leave the jail. 50 shots were fired to intimidate the sheriff. He left. No further effort was made to thwart the mob, and Roach was taken to the graveyard of a Negro church 3 miles south of here on the National Highway and hanged to a tree. After the lynching, the corpse was riddled with bullets. The scene of the lynching is not far from the Chambers home. There have been no indications of any race trouble as a result of the lynching. However, the entire road force, of which Roach was a member, comprising about 75 men, has quit. However, the entire road force, of which Roach was a member, comprising about 75 men, has quit. The force was engaged in the construction of sand clay roads in the county. The Negroes declared they would not work anymore in Pearson County. And they had one more newspaper clipping about the lynching. Yep. So we're gonna read it, and then we're gonna process this also. The Raleigh Independent, July 17, 1920. Negro lynched at Roxborough was wrong man, says boss. Durham, July 12th. Ed Roach, the Negro who was lynched by a Pearson County mob last Wednesday morning, was innocent of the crime for which he died, according to a signed statement made by Nello Taylor, N-E-L-L-O Taylor, widely known contractor and employer of the mob victim. The infuriated mob, in the opinion of the contractor, made a ghastly mistake when they dragged Roach from the Person County Jail, hanged him to the churchyard tree, and riddled his body with bullets, while the brute who committed the crime was allowed to escape. When this Negro was lynched, Mr. Taylor says in his statement, As innocent a man was murdered as could have been had you or I been the victim of the mob. Continuing, the contractor says, Roach was working for me and was a quiet, hard-working, inoffensive, humble Negro. On Monday, he came to me and stated that he was sick and wanted to go with me to Durham that night to see a doctor. Instead, I arranged for him to go Tuesday night to Roxborough. He continued his work all day until 5:30. Bear in mind now that the crime for which he was lynched occurred between 2 and 3 o'clock that afternoon. When he asked permission of his foreman to stop to go to Mount Tercel Station to catch the train for Roxborough, permission was given him, and he left for the station walking. At 5:45, he passed the state's bridge crew, some white men, and 2 men who were out searching for the guilty Negro saw him and followed him up the road to the Mount Tercel Station, where he sat down and waited for the train. These 2 men sat down on the railroad near him. When the train came, he got on and paid the conductor his fare to Roxbury and got off the train there. He was not arrested till he got off the train. I am advised by the chief of police. He asked what they had him for and told them he had not done nothing. He ain't done anything. But he was not told until he got in jail what they had him for. He asked to be taken to my office to see my superintendent, with whom he had arranged to carry him to the doctor, but permission was refused him. Mr. Tier says the right Negro was probably one that worked at his camp only a few hours. A Negro man about Roach's size came to my camp on Sunday night, was employed on Monday, and went to work Tuesday morning. About 8:15 a.m., he drove my team out to the side of the road and had been gone 25 minutes when my foreman missed him. My foreman took out one of the mules and went to look for him, saw him going up the road towards Mount Tercel Station. The Negro saw him and broke and ran over to the east side of the railroad, going towards Lynchburg. This was about 10:30 a.m. Tuesday morning, and in approximately 3/4 of a mile of the scene of the crime. This man was dressed practically the same as Ed Roach, with cap and overalls, was about the same size, but a little darker in color. In conclusion, Mr. Terry says, and that's T-E-E-R, Mr. Terry says, I make this statement in the interest of truth and justice, yet with the full knowledge of the odium, O-D-I-U-M, I am bringing down upon my own head in doing so, but with the hope that this fearful crime may so shock our people as to make its likes again an impossibility. Well, that shit didn't happen. No. We did it. We read, we done now. I'm so sleepy. I'm finna go to sleep. But we got a couple of pages until the next. Oh. I was finna say it ain't many. But we just started this chapter. So yeah, I'm not gonna try to read more to get through with it and stuff. I'll be up to 6 o'clock again. But you don't be up to 6 o'clock. You process this, you know. I'm going to process it too. We process this so we can heal and go on to the next. And I thank y'all so much. Again, you know I do thank you. And the ancestors are proud of you. And they thank you too for being here, for listening to them, for hearing their stories, their tortures that they endure. Because a lot of people don't know what they went through, what our ancestors literally went through at the hands of white people. They are so proud of us having the interest to know these horrible things. And once they on your mind and your mind's eye see these things, it's hard to even imagine that they happened, that a person, if you will, did these things. I mean, it's not like, yeah, you was just at the park or, you know, and you saw a lion attack and kill a deer. You know, it's not like that right there. That's nature. That's what nature do. That lion can't go cook the deer. He can't kill it humanely and then eat it. That's their nature in the wild. But for this right here, this is inhumane. This is not a part of, people that's right, people that's got a soul, a heart. 10,000 people, it's not. So you already know to keep some gratitude and a song in your heart. You already know, and you know why. I'll read it to you just in case, but you know why. You must keep some gratitude in your heart, and you must keep a song with you at all times. I mean, add it to your prayers and stuff. You got your Bible. Hopefully you got a black Bible now. But this is a spiritual war now. You got to start looking at it differently and stuff. If you got to put anything down and stuff, honey, it better not be the black Bible. It better not be our Bible. Now, you see Willie Brown in this book, and he came out in this book tonight also. Don't forget Willie's name. Keep some gratitude with you, family, because gratitude is going to shield you from negativity. Gratitude going to make you at least 25% happier. You going to make yourself happier. Ain't nobody else going to make you 25% happier. You are. You going to do that for you. You don't need nobody to do that for you. Sure don't, honey. You going to do that. Gratitude rewires your brain, eliminates stress, and it heals you. Gratitude improves your sleep. Sleep like a baby. It boosts your self-esteem and your performance. Gratitude enhances the law of attraction, and it improves relationships. You can't go wrong with gratitude. You say anything out your mouth, it needs to be gratitude. Gratitude. Keep a song in your heart. Preferably your mama's music, your daddy's music. I don't care if it's Johnny Taylor, B.B. King. Keep your people song in your heart and stuff. If it leads you anywhere, it might lead you to Shalimar. I'm just saying, it ain't gonna lead you to WAP and all that mind mingling shit that changed your whole demeanor when you listen to music today. It changed your whole demeanor. Yeah, one song get you cussing up a storm. Yeah, because it's off. They done threw the whole music off. You're gonna have to go back to the good music that give you goosebumps, make you want to cry. You either gonna cry or sing your heart out. When Whitney Houston come on that radio, you either gonna cry or you gonna sing your heart out. It's true. You got to get back to that type of music. How your body reacts to singing. Singing joyful or expressive songs, y'all, it can nourish your heart, balance your emotions, and uplift your spirits. Don't nobody know why you so happy over there today. What you got? You got your check early? Oh, you get your check 2 days early, don't you? What, you won the lottery? You in a relationship? You moving? What? Why you so happy over there? It's just your heart. Music, it does that to you. Start singing, y'all. I'm just saying. Singing helps expand the lungs, and it improves the oxygen intake. It improves your oxygen intake. You can get a full breath of air, oxygen, when you sing it. But it ain't when you singing this music today and stuff. You might find one or two, that'll let you get that range of oxygen that you need. But the mental message might be off. You ain't getting no goosebumps from it, but you getting that full intake of oxygen. That's the wrong song. Go back to Stephanie Mills, somebody. Back up in that era. And that's going to give you all the benefits of this right here. See that perfect song, that right song, the right music will bring you that abundance from it. Now you go to a shallow song. I ain't saying Halo is shallow. I like Halo. I like Listen. I'm not saying it's shallow and all this stuff, but it ain't got that depthness that Earth, Wind, and Fire, the Commodores, Stephanie Mills Home, The Power of Love, that it's got. And then, Stephanie Mills Home, it ain't going to lead you to WAP. I'm just saying, certain music can open the doors to other music and stuff. First, you're drunk in love. And then you love up in this club. Next thing you know, you walk. I'm just saying, you got to choose wisely. Use your discernment. Yep. Singing helps regulate emotions like frustration, anger, and stress right on up out of your liver. See, they never taught us that all of these things are storing up in our body and affecting us. So you got all this food, the music, what you're listening to, what you're eating, what you're going through and experiencing. It's a lot on us. We got to try to get some of this off of us. Singing can strengthen kidney energy by fostering vocal expression. When you hit that high note with Stephanie Mills, your kidneys is too. It strengthens your kidneys. Singing, y'all. And I want to say before I leave too, that music is the only activity that activates your whole brain. Your whole brain activated, honey. I mean, you sing back to back to back when you need to. And it's for you. Don't nobody got to know. But if you do hear, who going to say something because you singing Al Green? Shit, it probably make them think about I remember my great auntie. Yes, honey, she loved her some Al Green. It make them go back, have that flashback that they need. So, don't be ashamed. Honey, this is allegedly 2025, and these motherfuckers is taking us back to when they claim make America great again. So, yes, sing as much as you want to, shit. You sang a verse, give sister a verse. Hell, she know when you start singing Al Green, you can tell that's her song too. She know what I'm talking about. She'll give her the microphone too. It ain't nothing but, the remote control or whatever, wherever y'all at. If you got an ink pen or something, give her the microphone. I'm just saying. We got to break the ice with each other. It's time now. And I'm so sleepy. I got to go get me some rest. But I sure thank y'all for being here. Yeah, and thank you, Ashby, for reminding me to just come on. Because I'm glad I did. Yeah. It's so good to see all of y'all. Well, hey there, Hank. How you doing? Good day. Good day. It's good to see you and everyone else. And I am Kiara, the map drawer. It's so good to you. Wow, you got some more songs. And I'm going to be on here to get them too. Yep, I'm going to be on here. Is that the Winans? Aretha Franklin. Oh, I love Aretha. That's that good music that we need. We need good music in our life now. And summertime is coming up. Y'all claim you finna be outside. Black America, get our music and take it outside. It's time to get our music. Go get your boom box again. Go to the thrift store and get you a boom box before everybody catch on. And go get the boom box and stuff. You got the money, go buy you a brand new one. Make you some CDs and stuff. I'm just saying, put you some low key on there, cut close. Karen White, Stephanie Mills, Regina Bell, Aretha Franklin, Patti LaBelle. I'm just saying, James Ingram, George Benson. I'm just saying, yeah, you can get you some BB King if you want to. Just don't find yourself across the street at the tavern. I'm just saying, But yeah, I love y'all to life. I love you to life, Black America. You my people. You my people. And I don't want you to be a fool and a dummy. I don't want us, Black people, because I'm not. See, it ain't good enough for me to spend my ever after with white folks. Oh, no, I'm better than that. I'm better than that. I ain't got to spend my ever after with white folks, and I ain't got to go to hell. So I want the same for you. I want you to know that you don't have to be trapped in heaven with white folks. Honey, you got that whole multiverse to go to. Fly back and forth, honey. You could be up there just rolling on stars. Rolling stars all around the multiverse. I'm just saying, you don't have to be limited to that small mindset heaven. Oh, we're going to heaven with white folks. Things is different now. You got a little bit more information now. I'll go into it more. But yeah, I want y'all to know. They lied and stuff, Don't trap yourself here and there. Don't be no fool.